lots of bits and pieces in it. But
use the stiff stuff.
Green colour.
Green ticket. 481 to 485.
There you are, well done. Thank you. And the second one out is for Pauline Upton's pudding.
261 to 265.
Yes. You've not. You've not. That's inside information. That's inside information. That's inside information. Lovely, there we go. Thank you.
Well done, Patrick.
I've never been from it. I've even been in I've never been from it.
Captains, Jerry. Past captains, Brian and Norman. Honoured guest, Phil. And gentlemen with the LX. Welcome to our annual charity lunch. I hope you've enjoyed the food. I hope those of you who played enjoy the game. Judging by the results, you did pretty well. We'll talk about that more later. It's great to have Jerry here as a relatively new captain, but we're delighted he played and came. Thank you. I'd also like to welcome our special guest, Phil Dawson. Phil, as most of you know, is a member of the club and is Guy Dawson's father, but he's here today not to represent the club, but to represent Ian Rennie Hospice at Home. Ian Rennie Hospice at Home is a special organisation which he will talk more about, but from my point of view, it is my charity this year. It was a godsend last year when Maggie was very ill and we were able to get Ian Rennie to come out during the night, give her morphine when she needed it. I'm delighted to say that she's been able to step down from that requirement. I'd like to invite Phil to stand and receive what I'll pretend to be a cheque from the LS Group.
Thank you very much. Oh, my goodness.
Are you prepared to say how much? I'm going to say how much, yes indeed. It will be in excess of £1,500.
Made out of Phil Dawson.
Better be.
It's important to me that we've had this charity because it really has helped us a lot.
Thank you very much everyone for inviting me to come along today. I'm always very proud to live in Buckinghamshire because Buckinghamshire I think has got a special place in its heart for Ian Rennie. We here at the club obviously know a lot. I've spoken to people today who remember him and actually played with him, and but his suffering has borne out from that a great service, a service which a lot of people are making use of. If you look, I've given brochures on the tables, but if you look at just the area that we cover, it's not nationwide or anything like that, it's just in the Chiltern area, but with about 50 to 60 nurses working 365 days a year, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
I'd like to thank you all as well on behalf of Ian Rennie for your generous contributions throughout the year. It's a collection of 50p's, odd things here and there. It's mounted up to 1,500. But I would like to particularly mention Ken, who did this year organise a bridge drive, and that organisation of his managed to raise £360. So that was a substantial part. Let's start with today's event. And the 26 points was the captain.
Sorry, boys.
And the winner, with a magnificent magnificent score of 27 points, but kept it under the hat until the last moment, was Mark Whitwell. We're going to come now to the summer singles knockout. The runner-up first for the summer singles knockout and winning a £12.50 voucher is Bill Dover.
Congratulations.
And the winner, surprise, surprise, with a £25 voucher and a trophy is Mark Whitwell.
There'll be a meeting in the handicap committee shortly after this.
Absolutely. Well done, thank you.
Well done, Zorro.
We come now to the summer four-ball knockout, and the runners-up for that were Tim Lawrence and Mitch Gears, who get £12.50 vouchers.
Talent will come to the front.
Well done, gentlemen.
I got a chance to shake the captain's hand.
Well done, chance. Well done. Congratulations.
And the winners, and you'll hear this name fairly often today, are Melvin Voon and Tad Anuma. They get a trophy and £25 each.
Congratulations.
They represent HSBC.
Well done, Melvin.
Well played.
And there's your trophy. Man's taken
I
it.
now come to the Andrews Bronze, and the person who got the best net score over 4 rounds was Tad, who came second, sorry, was Tad Anuma. £10 voucher. And Melvin, don't sit down, because the winner with 276 points, gross 276 over 4 rounds, is Melvin, who wins it's a trophy and £15 vouchers. There are 3 people who got best net scores during the year, and would you believe that in April, don't sit down, Melvin. In April was Melvin with 69.
Melvin, you're a pain in the arse.
He's taking over for you, Frank, hasn't he?
Well spoken, John.
And in July, with a 68 net, was John Daniel. Well done. And the September best net was Jasper Garnham with 74.
Well done, Jasper.
Thank you. And the final result is the LX Scratch Shield, and that was the best gross score throughout the summer period, and that was an 85 gross, won in July by John Daniel. John gets a trophy plus £10 vouchers.
Now we know why he's
Successful at golf. I would like to thank Tony particularly and his managing committee to this wonderful spread that we've had today, and the catering staff. And they're standing over there, so let's give them a good ovation. Now, these things don't just happen, and it does need at least 3 key people to organise an event like this. The event itself, as Phil has told us, is crucial because it's a good cause to which it's going. And for that, I think we all ought to congratulate ourselves for managing to produce this amount of money. But Tony particularly, as our Caesar, as our Caesar for getting on for 2 years, but you've done extremely well. So join me in thanking our Caesar and ourselves.
Thank you so much, Mark. I'd now like to invite our captain to say a few words.
And believe me, it will be a few, as I've been told that the jokes I were going to tell you have been circulated by email already. But I'm going to start off with Grace, because when I got the email from Caesar, it did mention Grace, so I had my Grace ready. So I'll start at the start of the speech and then I'll go back to Grace. So Caesars, past captains, members of the LX, what a delight to see you all. To see all your smiling faces. I'm not sure about the hats, but the smiling faces are good. I had 3 lovely Graces. In fact, I've got to tell you them all because I couldn't pick between them. The first one was for drives that soar, for chips that hold, for putts that drop when twice too bold, for food and friends on golfing days. To God we give our thanks and praise. So that would have been probably the one that I used because I wasn't sure how well the other 2 would go down. The second was, O Lord, who turned the water into wine, forgive us here, but mortal men about to turn it back again. And then the last one, which was my particular favourite, but I didn't quite have the nerve to tell you, was, God bless this LX bunch as they crunch their lunch. I was worried that maybe some of you had false teeth and that wouldn't be done.
False everything.
No, it was so thanks to my partners who marshalled me along. They didn't probably, John and Leslie probably didn't realise that I suffer from asthma, and trying to keep up with Brian Wheeler and the group in front left me gasping for breath on several occasions. Actually, what comes to mind is a game that I once played in a medal with Brian Wheeler. See if he remembers it. And another sprightly gentleman called Sir Frank Barlow. So we started it off at 8 o'clock in the morning. First 3 holes went fairly quickly, and we were all level par after 3 holes, so that was quite good. So we then came to the 4th. Now, not one to boast, but I got over the other side of the hill, they couldn't. So they had to hit their second shots blind over around the corner on the 4th. And then I went to hit mine. Of course, as I'm hitting mine, Brian's walking up there and Sir Frank's running up the other side of the fairway. But enough said about that, so I thought, right, okay. So we knocked onto the green. Both of them knocked it onto the green and walked off with another 4. So all 3 of us are level par after 4 holes, which I think is quite a good performance. We get to the 5th hole. I can't remember who it was first, but let's say it was Brian because he's here. Brian looks at his ball and goes, that's not my ball. Frank looks at his ball and says, oh, that's not my ball either. What's yours? So obviously they'd rushed so fast over that damn hill they played the wrong ball. Which is a lesson to you, don't play too fast.
You're talking to the LX.
Jerry McSlow.
Can't say that, I'm captain.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, I was going to tell you about all the rules I was going to change for senior golfers. I used it at the men's dinner, but on the basis that most of you were drunk, you probably wouldn't remember. But having just been told there's an email going round, and I'm going to scrap all that, so I don't really have much more to say. Except, not finish it. I could go on a bit. I mean, for example, a couple of things come up today. I thought, how can you have a quiz competition about Mark Whitwell? Is he really that interesting? Well, take your word for it. Anyway, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to join you all, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you. I'd like to close now, but with a few thanks that I'd like to add. To echo the comments of Mark, I'd like to very much thank the bar staff and the caterers for providing us a lovely meal. I'd like to thank Lee for the organisation of the course in what have been very difficult conditions. I think he's done very well. So to him and his team, very many thanks. I'd especially like to thank the ladies who came out of their way to set up all these decorations, not just for us, but for us to be able to have them today. So these Christmas decorations are courtesy of the ladies. They've done a wonderful job. Finally, I'd like to thank my committee, to Pat and to Laurie and to Keith, who have kept me together this year. They've done a great job, and I really appreciate what they've done both today and throughout the year. Thank you so much. That concludes the proceedings. Thank you very much.